I consider Middle East the cradle of religious civilization, and especially in our countries like Italy, Western Europe, Christianity come from Middle East. It's a Middle East religion. So also now we have many Muslims as well, millions actually. So also Islam is a religion of the Middle East mainly. So in some way our spiritual roots are there between Israel and the rest of Middle East. I wish we could be all together. I wish the day in which we can all gather together in person will come soon, with no borders, no barriers, no pandemics or whatever. But at the moment we have to be happy with that, because God gave us the possibility to meet anyway through the technology. Sometimes technology is bad, sometimes it's very good. It's heavily technology. And today, this conference is based on heavily technology. So I'm going to speak about, before starting with the PowerPoint, I have a PowerPoint. This is based on a lecture that I gave to second generation. Most of my lectures are made mainly, the beginning at least, for the second generation, for young people. Because I really feel that they need to inherit all the wisdom and the knowledge that we had the chance to experience in our life of faith. So now I'm trying to convey to you, I will try to convey to you this kind of content prepared for the second generation. It is based on something that True Mother just said. If some of you, just maybe a few of you, were at the beginning of this meeting, Binod showed that through the latest True Mother public speech given in Japan. One sentence in this speech speaks about the Western countries, the advanced countries, she said, that base their policy only on human thinking. Means excluding God, not considering God. And this is not the way to go. So if I should make an introduction to this speech today, is that God manifests himself nowadays, but especially the countries that are more influential in the trend of the world are the countries that since at least 400 years systematically excluded God from their policies, from politics, from economy, from art, from sport, and so on. So based on rational mind, based on what they call the separation between state and religion, that has a reason. The reason was the religious wars. We were coming out from many religious wars. Christians against Christians, Christians against Muslims. Millions of people died. So people were tired of seeing religions as a source of conflict and wars. So at that time, they decided to exclude religions. But at the beginning, it was not excluding God. It was excluding religions, institutions, religious institutions from the government. But bit by bit, in 400 years' time, through the many cultural revolutions we had, we concretely excluded God. And True Mother nowadays, she's trying to solve this root problem of all other problems. Because if we don't solve can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Because if we don't solve the problem of re-including God in our decision-making processes, we cannot solve any problem. So, how can we understand if God is included or excluded? What is the ultimate criteria to decide what is good, what is going in direction of goodness, or what is going in direction of evil? There is one very, very simple criteria. You may be surprised, maybe you know already, but the real ultimate surprise are the three blessings. The three blessings in Genesis, in the Bible, Genesis 1:28, they say, they speak about the instructions that God gave mankind in order to prosper, to be happy, and to live, to create a proper society, a righteous society, a society of peace, a society centered on true love. It means the true identity as the children of God, the true family based on true lineage, centered on 4 realms of art, and then the proper dominion over creation based on love, heart, and proper culture that includes God. So these are the three blessings, shortly speaking. So whatever goes in the direction of fulfilling this goal we can say it's good. Whatever religion, thinking, philosophy, system, political system, economic system goes against this direction, we can say is not good. So let's share my screen now, and then I will start my presentation. Okay, just a moment, just the presentation. Okay, how God manifests himself in these last days, the fundamental knowledge to open the way to God's culture of original heart. What we are doing now, especially our battlefront, main battlefront, the worldwide, cosmic actually, I have to say battlefront now, is between the world centered on three blessings and the world centered on something else that I'm going to explain. Centered mainly on human thinking, excluding God from our reality in one way or the other. So we need to understand how we should fight this battle, because this is our duty. So I start from this very basic knowledge. These are a page of handwritten by Father, the original Divine Principle book. There are 700 pages around that are handwritten by Father. In one of these pages, Father wrote, God means is the entire human being, so the past, the present, and the future. So God, human beings are part of the body of God, is part of God. Then all things of creation are part of God's body, God's energy, plus his own characteristic, essence. So God also is a God of heart. Then the significance of creation lies in the fact that God himself is one, but has dual characteristics in gender. So means God is father and mother, is the essence of the fatherly love and motherly love, the father principle and motherly principle, father's energy and motherly energy. So this is the fundamental truth. We have to understand this point, because, why I'm saying this? Because in the Western world, especially these days, we are fighting against philosophies, visions, and ideologies that deny these fundamental truths. So, True Father said in the Chonjong-gun in 2011, was probably the last declaration of the True Parents made. Actually, no, there is another one of the Age of Women after that, but this is quite basic, fundamental. We, the True Parents of heaven and earth and humankind, have now settled. Since we are the substance of the word, we need to proclaim the word. The word spoken by the substance of the truth, that is, by the subtle substantial being of truth, can liberate the universe. That is the meaning of the proclamation, that true parents are the substance of the word. The settlement of the true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind signifies the settlement of the substance of the word. That is why what we are proclaiming is that we are the substantial word. So what does it mean? What I said before, the Chonelguk goes in the direction of fulfilling the three blessings, while the realm without God is going in the opposite direction. How can we understand this? Because true parents are already here. So they already established the foundation to be the substance of the three blessings, the blessings, the substance of and the fulfillment of God's logos, the original plan of God. So whatever goes in the direction of supporting true parents, we can say is good. Whatever opposed true parents' course is not good. So the purpose of creation, just summarizing, why God created all the universe and created human beings. First, in order for two to become one and feel, all particles, all elements, all energies, animals, plants, and especially human beings, what is the purpose of our life? Not to be individual. We are not supposed to form a society based on individuals. The society, the Chonelguk, is where two become one and feel. What they feel? Feel joy, they feel God, they feel the true identity, they found the true themselves. We find our true nature by becoming one. This is the fundamental law. So Adam and Eve should have reached individual perfection, something they didn't do, but now we have true parents, they did. Jesus did spiritually with the Holy Spirit, and then through parents they did also physically through their even physical body and producing children, giving life to children. In the place where Adam and Eve become one horizontally, God comes down vertically. So whenever there is a couple of a husband and wife that they love God more than themselves, they got the others, they got other people more than themselves, and they love each other more than themselves. When they join, they live together, when they even in sexual relationship, God can come down vertically to them and become one with them. And the cosmic Sabbath is established. The day in which the place and the day in which God can feel finally in peace and finally feel true love. God, Adam and Eve become one eternally and are stimulated with joy. So in that place where two become one, we can be two brothers and sisters, friends, can be parents and children, but especially everything starts from a husband and a wife. That's why we emphasize so much the blessing. In that place, we found the true identity based on filial piety. We found a true relationship with God. Then in that same place, we find the true love, true life, true lineage, so inheritance given to future generation based on true families. And then the third point is true dominion based on the culture of heart. Economy, politics, art, sports, society, not centered on money, not centered on power, centered on the love that comes from true families. So you understand how important is the blessing actually through this, how important it is to create a blessing for true love, give inheritance and form a society in which God can be the center. We are going to explain now the meaning of the last days and our responsibility, because we need to understand the phenomenon of our time, the fulfillment of God's ideal. And I have another part now explaining, especially in detail. Let's start from True Mother, the part of the speech that she gave to world leaders in recent years. She said, the proclamation of the Foundation Day of Chonilguk marked a momentous historical turning point for our worldwide movement of blessed central families and all humanity. We now stand at the crossroads. Will we move forward to establish an eternal world of peace, or will we see the continuation of a dark history of struggle and war? You know, True Mother's words here are very serious, very important to understand. She said, even the Chonilguk already arrived, the true parents are already here, the Foundation Day was already proclaimed. Still, it's up to us that the Chonilguk become true and substantial and real in this world and in the spiritual world. It's not just automatically comes. We need the blessed families that fulfill that blessing. So, regarding Foundation Day, ladies and gentlemen, we are living an historical time. This is a speech given by True Father. A great cosmic transition. It is a time for a great cosmic revolution to change history, to unite the spiritual and physical world, and to create the ideal kingdom of heaven that God has longed for since the beginning of time. We can no longer postpone or prolong the fulfillment of His wish. I have already proclaimed that January 13, 2013 will be Foundation Day. That day will be the actual beginning of God's kingdom of Chonilguk. That day will be the origin. Okay, well, Father proclaimed that, and when Father went to the spiritual world, you know, was September 2012, many people thought, even in our movement, we were puzzled. We don't know what to do. Said, should we still declare the Foundation Day? Like Father going to the spiritual world was a disgrace that completely destroyed God's plan. But True Mother, fortunately, we are so much blessed that True Mother is still here with us. She really never had the idea that God's plan should be cancelled because Father go to the spiritual world. Can you imagine if True Mother think like a normal woman, normal person? Imagine she would have cancelled the Foundation Day because of that, because Father will go to the spiritual world. How sad could be Father in the spiritual world? How sad could be God? We could make the ascension in harmony of Father to the spiritual world a failure, not a victory. My true mother, fortunately, I can say thanks God, and thanks also to her, she has such a clear mind about God's providence. She said, no, the day 13 January 2013 must be the foundation day. So finally, she transformed a difficult crisis, a difficult moment for the movement and for the entire world in the biggest victory ever. So, True Father from the spiritual world and True Mother on earth, together they declared the foundation day. Well, this should be clear for us. Wherever you see True Mother, since they became the substantial word, the substantialization of the three blessings, wherever you see True Mother, True Father is there. So we have a couple of true parents here on earth, and we have a couple of true parents in heaven. Wherever Father is in the spiritual world, the True Mother is also beside him. I had a dream about this, so I'm so sure about that. True Mother and True Father are always together. Nobody can separate them. So let's read from Word Scripture 2. What should be the kingdom of heaven? Some element, five points. I will go quickly through that, so it's very clear, very well explained. First, it is a word of God's absolute sovereignty. No regime in history, even if it claimed to be instituting God's theocratic rule, has come anywhere close to the kingdom in the true sense. God's dominion is by law, not political power. It is where goodness is vested with authority for its own sake, and God can rule through the heart of good people. So, theocratic rules, we had many. In Christian realm, we had for a long time. Also in the Islam, we had a Buddhist kingdom in Korea. In China, also for a long time, Confucius, other religion, even the Shinto in Japan. But no theocratic rule could fulfill the ideal of God. Why? Because the ideal of God cannot be realized by individuals, can be realized only by true parents and true couples and based, centered on blessing. Only the couple is the foundation for the society. Without the couple, that is the basic connection, the basic relationship, no true relationships can be formed in the society. That is the beginning of everything, where two become one. Second, the kingdom is a transfigured world, a new heaven and new earth, where all people live as one great human family. Giving and sharing is the norm. Selfishness is unheard of. People know intimately the heart and will of God, rejoice in living by heaven's norms, and have no inward impediments to doing good. It is a world of peace, where nations no longer make war, and people enjoy a life free from crime or oppression. Naturally, by forming true couples centered on the heaven's blessing, the consciousness of the people will develop, and we will become completely aware of the presence of God, so much that the true blessing will be written in our heart, will manifest in our actions. So we will rejoice living naturally with no Father even said no more police force, no more judges, only the families. Everything will be solved inside the family. Then third, we say peace starts with me. The kingdom requires a transformation of the self. Even if the world were at peace, if we still felt conflicted and disturbed, we would not feel comfortable and might continue to dwell in a private hell. This is so important, especially in Western society, but not only. I think all mankind, many times, we create our own private hell, our personal hell. So whatever church we belong, whatever prayer we make, whatever religious duty we accomplish, if inside we don't have peace with God and peace with the others, we cannot build up this kingdom. Likewise, even though we might live in the most delightful environment, we could not enjoy it if our family were full of conflict and strife, even in our heart. So we have to start from transforming ourselves. And then finally, a world that is clean, internally and externally. Fourth, the kingdom is a very natural place, free of artificiality or the constraint of external laws, because the spontaneous prompting of the heart would all be good. It is a place of dazzling beauty, where people's minds are like crystal, emanating divine light. Creation rejoices as a citizen of the kingdom, care for the environment with love and sensitivity to nature's way. Very shortly, I can say there are two kinds of being clean. One is externally, ecology is important. to Mother is emphasizing so much the environment that we have to take care with love. We cannot anymore afford to destroy the environment, but especially the internally, being clean internally means free of artificiality, means be our true selves. We don't need to pretend to be something different. Actually, this is very long, but I cannot explain today. But around 500 years ago, when the modern state, the roots of modern state were established, there was a British philosopher called Hobbes. This Hobbes wrote a book, The Leviathan. Leviathan is the beast of the apocalypse, of the revelation that is written that will dominate mankind in the last days. And this said the Leviathan is the artificial man. So the government should be the artificial man ruling and dominate other people, because people are evil and they need to be dominated. Just shortly, is much more complex than that. But we are living in an artificial society in which everything is not natural anymore, is not true anymore, internally and externally. We should be aware of that. We have to make people discovering their original and natural nature, let's say, their original nature internally, in order to manifest their beauty and divine light around themselves. And then the last point, the word of Singwa. Singwa, you know, is a ceremony that we make usually when somebody goes to the spiritual world, when blessed couples go to the blessed people go to the spiritual world. But Father said we should live the Singwa before we go to the spiritual world. It means we should elevate ourselves to the level of completely communicating with the heart of God before we go to the spiritual world. So when the time of death comes, this is just a very natural passage. No trauma, no difficulties, because we are already living in two realms on the same time. So fifth, the kingdom transcends death. When the earthly world and the spiritual world are united, the barrier of death will come down, allowing people to freely communicate with their loved ones on the other side. This is beautiful. Through dreams, through prayer, we can communicate to the spiritual world, to God, but also to our loved ones. And when they want, grandfather went to the spiritual world, when they want to speak with their grandchildren, they can come and do, and support them, and protect them, and speak to them. This happens in an environment of true love. Unfortunately, the earth, the planet, our planet, because of bad thinking of the people, is surrounded by a cloud of darkness. That's why good spirit cannot freely come under, only they can come under heavy conditions, difficult conditions, because we are surrounded by evil thinking, an evil spirit many times, most of the times, made out of resentment, of wars, rage, and selfishness and so on. So we have to clean up this environment to make a complete communication between the two dimensions. Okay, this said, let's go to the core of this sermon today. How evil is trying to prevent the revolution of heart that true parents are promoting, God is promoting. God is bringing the world, mankind, to the original Garden of Eden. But somebody is trying to prevent this. There is a strategy. Evil is a strategy. Don't think they work randomly. They have a clear strategy. We need to know it, otherwise we cannot win. So let's start from True Mother again. 2014. Currently, the entire world is in chaos. It does not know which way to turn. We must step forward, sparing not 1 minute, even 1 second. We must seek ways to save even one more human life. Without our awareness, heaven has made many preparations for us. We have to grasp hold of the hands of God. Grasp all the hands of God, who has prepared all of this for us. Our great contribution to help God and humanity shall determine the destiny and future of the world. From this perspective, I am saying, please do not squander your time. Let's use properly our time, because every moment there are people dying out of resentment, starvation, injustice, and so on. These are our children, these are our younger brothers and sisters. We have to take care of them, and we have to take responsibility for them. So I called now the 3 blessings confrontation. As I said, the blessing is going in the direction of the Chonilguk, but the Satan is trying to create a world against the 3 blessings. So first blessing, confrontation. Satan is trying to create his own humanity, his own people. Be aware of this. Satan, through media, through movies, through TV, through advertisement, through politics, through economy, everything centered on money and power, is trying to create his own people. They are the denial of the true individuality. So let's say, denial of true identity of men and women. The original genders are replaced by artificial genders. I don't know in your countries what is going on there, but I tell you, Europe is becoming the spread of this kind of gender ideology, teaching to the small children in the elementary schools that they are not anymore boys and girls. They try to teach them that they can be whatever they want. They can be boys, girls, independently from the way they are born. They can be boys, girls, or whatever else. There are, I don't know, maybe 10 sexes now. They invented it. Totally artificials. No natural, nothing natural in that. So sexuality, you have to know this is another topic, very huge, very big. I cannot go deep into this detail, but it would be important for you to listen somebody teaching you the true nature of sexuality, because sexuality is at the core of human identity. Father said sexuality, sexual organs are the door for our conscience. So we cannot evaluate good and evil. We cannot understand good and evil if we don't have a proper clean sexuality. With no proper sexuality, our consciousness, our awareness goes astray, completely out. That's why Satan is so much insisting on free sex. This is the reason. Because he wants to destroy the consciousness of man, means the presence of God in the heart of people. Raising children is imagine of Lucifer. This is what he's doing. Neutral, not anymore which sex are, nobody knows. Hybrids. They can be man and woman on the same time. Centered on free sex, with no conscience and awareness of the original idea. What is wrong with it? Why this is wrong? Because happiness and human evolution is impossible in this way. The image of God is destroyed. I don't encourage you to hate homosexual or to, no, we should not hate anybody. We should love and embrace people. But in the same way I embrace my children. If I embrace my son, my daughter, when I embrace them, I cannot just allow them to destroy their life. I should warn them, at least with love and patience. I should embrace my son, my daughter, my younger brother, young sister, and say, look, I really love you, but please reflect. Please try to understand what is God's purpose for you in your life. If I don't say this, and my daughter, for example, is a drug addict, I embrace my daughter and said, okay, don't worry, I will buy drug for you. Actually, I will feed you with drug. Because you like drug, okay, I will give you drug. Am I a good parent in this way? This is what we are culturally and spiritually doing to all the people that are going far for the true blessing. We are encouraging them and putting them on the throne of God even. How can we respond to that? Because it's important. What can we do to respond? How can we manifest God? How can we become the manifestation of God in society? The response to the first blessing confrontation is God's truth, divine principle, the power of God's word to build the original image of God in each human being by awakening the conscience. The effect of teaching divine principles should not be giving a lot of information in the mind of people. Not information alone is not enough. We need to pray. We need to invest our heart. We need to touch the heart and the essence of the people. And divine principle, they have the power to do that and awaken the power of people to find their true identity. I saw, brothers and sisters, believe me or not, I saw in the movement several times people that were homosexuals before joining our movement, by the power of divine principle, discovering their true self and form a family. Now they have children, they are good, blessed couples. I don't want to say they are wrong, this is what is wrong, what is right. I have the right to do that. But at least, given divine principle, we can give the original responsibility to each person and make each person aware of the true original nature. Then it's up to every person. We should leave them free, respect them, no discrimination, no violence for sure, but at least we should give them, out of our parental love, the possibility to understand God's ideal for themselves. Then the second blessing, confrontation. Satan is trying to build a society based on individualism. He's trying to do anything possible to deny the family, destroy and deny the family. How is doing? First, he started to make the idea, put the idea in the mind of the people, the family is not anymore needed. We don't need any more family. We can freely join and live whenever we want. Family is just a problem. It's heavy to have a family. This idea passing through media and movie, especially, you see in the 90%, this is statistically calculated, of the sexual relationships in the movies, especially movies coming from Hollywood, are not between husband and wives, are between people that betray the husband and wives, and people are not inside the marriage, out of the marriage. So this is a brainwashing to make us understand that there is no happiness is not possible in the family, only out of the family. And then now there is another strategy. Because of family, Satan could not destroy the family, because there are still so many people that really care about the family all over the world. He's trying to make another strategy. Other strategy is, okay, let's make many other kind of families, not only man and woman, not only husband and wife, but many other kind of families, making so much confusion. The original family is destroyed, replaced by many kind of artificial families. You can make a family 2 men, 3 men, 2 men and 1 woman, whatever you want, even whatever sex you want. Father and mother especially, this point is very important. Father and mothers are denied. Brothers and sisters, in some way, I know you are going through difficult time in your countries in many ways, probably, but consider that Europe is considered an advanced place. We made laws, we are making laws that deny the father and mothers. This is a spiritual battlefront that is really much heavier, even I can say, than a physical war in some way, because goes to touch and destroy the essence of society. In the first commandment, God said, honor your father and mother, and your day will be prolonged. Now we made laws in our Western countries in which in the documents you cannot write anymore if you are a father or mother. You can say parent 1, parent 2. We cannot say father and mother anymore, otherwise we are accused to discriminate homosexuals. We lost completely our mind. The parental authority is replaced by the technological authority influencer in social media. Who is educating young people? Not anymore the parents, they lost completely authority, but the social media are educating our children. So the concept is no authority anymore. Hiding a subtle dictatorship of the vision of Lucifer. You belong only to yourself. The vision of Lucifer is not, please deny the family, there are many kinds of families, make confusion, because you belong only to yourself. You have to take care only of your own happiness. This is his idea. How can we fight this? How can we respond to it? We have the most powerful weapon ever appeared on earth, the blessing. The blessing is not a ritual, it's not a religious ritual, it's not a duty. The blessing is is an atomic bomb coming from God to destroy falseness, to destroy unhappiness, to destroy injustice. It's the original marriage based on true love, true life and true lineage. Because the more we give the blessing to the people, the more the Chonelguk will appear. So while Satan is trying to create his own society, we are trying to create the society of God. So please understand how important it is to receive the blessing first and to spread the blessing to the others. This is the only weapon we have. We cannot fight culturally only. We can, of course, I give conferences, I speak in public about these topics because I got tired to see my brothers and sisters brainwashed by this kind of falseness. But on the same time, the most powerful tool we have is the blessing. And then the last one is the third blessing, confrontation. Satan is trying to give dominion to his children over the children of God. As I said, he's trying to create his own mankind. His own mankind is made by hybrid people with no sex. It's made by people that owns the majority of the money in the world. The few people, 60 family, has 70 or 80% of the wealth of the entire world. This is crazy. You understand? And then giving, who are the people? Politicians that don't understand God and they fight against God. And unfortunately, what they are doing, they are trying to dominate the children of God. I'm so sorry for that, but I have to say this. There are many good people. I have many friends, good people. In Italy, as in Western country, they are going into the street. They are going to demonstrate. They go on the street to demonstrate for human rights. They are good people. They are good people, but they are the tools of powerful people that use them as instrument to promote the satanic ideology of the gender. So they go on the street because they want to protect against violence, homosexuals, for example, or they want to promote some new law in which there are no more father and mother. They are not bad people. The people going on the street are not bad people. They just don't know. They just don't know that they are used as instrument by somebody that has clear strategy to destroy completely God's plan. So we have to protect them. So the third blessing, confrontation, create a false dominion based on the power of money, hidden powers controlling the life of God's children, as I said before, economy, an unfair distribution of resources, politics, fake freedom with no proper order and responsibility, arts, it's a propaganda to strengthen a wrong culture. You see in all TV serial, in all movies come in the Western world, always they emphasize so much the homosexual love. Sport centered on false gods and money. Everything is centered on this. So finally, the planet Earth is suffering. Air, water, food, poverty, wars. The more we call our countries advanced, the more people suffer inside. That the gap between people and the few that have the power the gap become bigger. How can we respond to it? Unfortunately, True Mother is leading us. Without True Mother, we would never understand this. True Mother, what is doing? Rallies of Hope, Peace Festival, UPF, Women Federation, YSP, ARP, and all our activity supporting True Mother on Earth and True Father in Heaven are the powerful weapons we have to create God's culture. Please understand, this Peace Festival or Rallies of Hope are not just conferences. There is an incredible spiritual battle behind that. Very intense and powerful spiritual battle. So whenever we attend these conferences, we are giving strength to God. We are giving strength to true parents. We are giving strength to God's plan and the logos of God that are coming powerful to earth. That's why we should attend, not just to listen what they say. No, it's not just that. I hope that people, especially ambassadors for peace, head of state and so on, will become more and more aware. And True Mother has no limit. When she goes, I was in Senegal, when we did this peace festival there in Senegal, and True Mother met Macky Sall, the president of Senegal. I was not in the presidential house, but I was there in Senegal working to support this providence. And then I remember that True Mother went in front of Macky Sall and said, and finally, can I speak? She said to after he greeted her and so on. And she spoke for 40 minutes. For 40 minutes, she explained to Macky Sall everything from Adam and Eve until the true parents. And then finally she declared, she said in front of Macky Sall, I am the only begotten daughter of God. If you unite with me, you can save your country. Can you imagine who has the courage to do this? Only True Mother can do that. I cannot have the authority to do this. But we should really be united with True Mother so much. And finally, Macky Sall bowed in front of True Mother. And one day after, he was on the stage with True Mother to receive the gold medal for governance. You know, And I was so surprised he's still here. I mean, he didn't escape, you know. This means if you go with the authority of God in front of people, nobody can resist you. We also can have the same power. We can have the same authority, but not centered on ourselves, centered on true parents, centered on God's ideal, centered on God's intention to create the channel book based on the three blessings. So we have three weapons to respond to this third three blessing confrontation, and they are powerful tools. Then this is a picture from the Cosmic Holy Blessing Ceremony given by True Mother in 2013. And then I can read a few more things, just I'm almost at the end. In the world today, things are happening at incredible speed. This moment, as I'm speaking to you, my words can be conveyed throughout the world in the blink of an eye. God allowed the development of civilization with such a technology for the sake of all humanity. You need to utilize what is available in our present civilization to fulfill the mission of the tribal Messiah. In so doing, you must lead the way in the restoration of your nation and the world. That is the purpose of your life. If you do so, your children, grandchildren, your descendants will live in joy and happiness. Through Mother 2014. So please, let's listen to Mother words and let's say Kamsahamnida to true parents, because I'm sure, of course you are sure too, I mean we agree all that without true parents and without true mother here on earth with us, we would be lost. But we should comfort the heart of true parents and God by taking full responsibility now. One day True Mother will go to the spiritual world. She cannot be eternal on earth because this is the natural way. We are lucky that True Mother is still with us. But when True Mother will go to the spiritual world, will God find people with the same heart than true parents here on earth? Will God find young people willing to take responsibility for the future of the world, for the destiny of mankind? This is us. This is the call that God is giving to us these days. And please, let's win this battle, three confrontations based on the three blessings, by investing completely our heart. I thank you very much, brothers and sisters, and I wish you all the best in your countries, in your life, in your families. God bless you. Thank you.